Good evening, everybody. My name is Josh Davistein. I'm the chair of the Halton Catholic District School Board's Parent Involvement Committee, CPIC, and I'd like to welcome you to another webinar that CPIC is putting on for you tonight. As you saw in the email, we are going to have about 8 other webinars in the next 2 months, and tonight is our first one for the spring season, and that is MyBlueprint. It is the easiest way to plan your education and career for your children. Online with us, we have Gil Silberstein, and he will be doing the presentation. He's the president of MyBlueprint. A few things. We are recording this webinar so that at any other time in a week or so, it will be on our YouTube channel. You will receive an email about that, and you can watch it again or pass it on to your friends or family if you think that they would find this interesting. Secondly, because of the amount of people online, we cannot open up the microphone and have everybody talk at the same time. Therefore, on the right side of your screen, you do see a little tab that says questions, and you can post questions in there. At the end of Gil's presentation, we will forward him some of the questions that he can answer live here for us. If we do run out of time, we will copy all the questions, and we will ask him to get back to us with the answers, and we can forward to everybody who was in attendance. So without much further ado, I'd like to hand the presentation over to Gil.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. So my name is Gil, and I'm the founder and president of MyBlueprint Education Planner. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. To give you a little bit of background before we go and explore the live MyBlueprint website so you can see the tools available to your students as well as to you. Just to give you a little bit of background, MyBlueprint is a tool that's used in about 30 school boards across the province of Ontario. It was actually initially a research study where we met literally with hundreds of educators, parents, students, teachers, counselors. Our goal was very simple: to find a way to help students more effectively plan for the future. And so with that goal in mind, we got started initially in a family basement and started working on this MyBlueprint tool to help students interactively plan. Now at Halton Catholic, it was something for us that was very exciting to get started working with your district and with the students in the schools. It was actually something that some counselors from the board and from your schools came across, and they saw it, said, you know what, our students need this tool. It's something that's going to help them and will make their life easier, and they pioneered it through the board to ensure it was accessible to your students. So really a fantastic story with some great guidance counselors doing some great work within your schools. So you should see on your screen here the MyBlueprint website. And what I'll be doing is actually logging in to a live demo student to show you the different functionality available through this resource. What I've done is I visited a website here, myblueprint.ca/HCDSB, which stands, of course, for Halton Catholic District School Board. So if you're looking to visit MyBlueprint, you can always visit this specific page for your board. And you'll see it here at the top in the address bar. Now, I have a demo account already, so I'm going to put in my email address and my password. Every student can create their own personal account that lives with them as they progress through their education. If your son or daughter or young person doesn't have an account, they can always select their school from the new user drop-down, this box in blue, and then create an account to get started. So here you'll see I'm typing in my email and password. I click on login, and now we're in a demo student account. What I'm showing you here is an account for a grade 10 student. MyBlueprint is used primarily from grade 7 through 12. And in these colorful boxes, what you will see are what we call, very simply, activities. Each box has a different activity. For example, assessments or goal setting or resume and cover letter builder. There's a high school planner, a post-secondary, an occupation, or even a financial planner as well. And these activities are grade specific. So if you have a son in grade 9 and a daughter in grade 11, when they log into their personal accounts, they'll see grade-specific activities that they're encouraged to complete in order to build an effective education plan for the year. If I put my mouse over any of these boxes, it tells me exactly what I need to do. For example, at the top right, goal setting. It asks me to set 2 short, medium, or long-term goals. Or in the high school planner in the middle, it asks me to plan my courses through to high school graduation. Or in the post-secondary planner, favorite 1 new post-secondary opportunity. So here I'm exploring opportunities available to me after high school. This is all based on a ministry initiative called the Individual Pathways Plan, and so students are encouraged each year to complete this plan in order to be more prepared for the future. You will notice there's a tracker at the top that says 52%. As I complete each activity, I get credit towards reaching 100% for the year. So you may wish to encourage your students and say, hey, what percentage are you at? And encourage them to work towards completing all the activities, which will help them build and answer questions about what opportunities are available to them, or learning more about themselves, or setting goals, and so on. So now let's actually go in and explore some of the specific sections. I'm going to start in the high school planner in the middle of the page here. And the high school planner, you can think of it as an interactive way for students to build a full 4-year high school plan. Even as early as grade 7 or 8, students could start learning about the courses that will be available to them, prerequisites, graduation requirements. Here you can see again an example of a grade 10 student. So if you focus to the left, you'll see it says grade 9, 10, 11, 12. And I've actually have the courses that I've completed with the mark that I've achieved in the grade 9 column. So you'll see English, and I have 75 here, and math and science and so on. Your students will see the courses that they've earned, as well as the current courses they're taking, and then they can go and plan next year and beyond. Now what you'll notice at the top right in the graduation indicator, and if I just zoom in here, you'll see it says earned 8 credits, plan 22, and overall I am on track to get my 30 out of 30 Ontario Secondary School diploma requirements. I click on view progress, and now I can see an exact breakdown of the requirements: English, math, science. How many credits do I need in each? Which ones have I earned? And which ones do I still need to take in order to meet the requirements? So we're planning our courses. We're learning about graduation requirements, ensuring we're on track. At the bottom right, you'll see a technology invented by MyBlueprint called Pathway Eligibility. Pathway Eligibility shows your students the impact of their course choices. How many apprenticeship skilled trades, college programs, university programs, or straight to the workforce, workplace opportunities are available to me based on the courses in my plan. The idea is to show students that there's a lot of opportunities available for them. This is a Canada-wide number, and it allows students to see, well, what if I take physics, or if I don't take physics in grade 12? What if I take all arts courses? What about if I take college-level math in grade 12? And the reality is you can still go to university with a college-level math throughout high school. So it actually lets you as parents as well learn about what opportunities are available and the realities of what purpose there is in taking various courses and how that may impact future opportunities. So with the high school planner, I can now go to the next step, which is the post-secondary planner, to explore the opportunities available to me. So let's just say, for example, we click on university programs. Here you'll see there's over 3,000 that I may be eligible for. This will take me to the next step, the post-secondary planner, where I can now research and compare detailed information about these opportunities. One thing to keep in mind is we do focus on all post-secondary pathways or destinations, and it's important, of course, that students pick the right one for them. Whether it's going to a skilled trades, which are in high demand and have lots of opportunities to earn a great living in, whether it's going to university, whether it's going to college, or the reality is for some students, they may go to work for a little bit, and that's something that they can research within MyBlueprint as well. So what I can do here at the top, it says enter opportunity name or keyword. What I'll do now is type in a keyword. Let's just say accounting. I want to find the university programs with the keyword accounting. On the left side, you can use search filters to narrow down your results. You can filter your results based on a category or based on a province. Let's just say I only want to look at Ontario or a certain institution or so on. So now I'm narrowing down my results, and you'll see there's a number of different accounting-related programs on the right side. What's really neat here is I can actually compare these opportunities side by side. So let's just say accounting at University of Saskatchewan versus accounting at Dalhousie University, all the way on the East Coast in Halifax. I'm going to click compare here, and now we're going to compare detailed information to help me make a better decision about post-secondary. If I just want to look at one program here, just so we can see it full screen, here you have this accounting program at Dalhousie. I'm a student. I want to get as far away from mom and dad as possible, so I'm going to try booking it to Halifax over here in this example. So we're looking at the program, and as we scroll down, we'll see things such as the description of the program, or the tuition fees, or the length of the program. Is there a co-op option? Or what is the credential awarded? You'll also find admission requirements, specific courses that you need as a student to take to be accepted into that program. You'll notice there's a green check mark beside each of these requirements. That's to indicate that I do have them in my high school plan. So I am on track to meet the course requirements based on my high school plan. You'll see things such as expenses, cost of residence fees, meal plan costs, tuition, of course, even the cost of a bus pass or a parking pass at all the different institutions. There's institution information, links to their Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and so on, which we all know students are using quite actively and may want to see how the institutions are portraying and what information they may have to share. And then there's useful links such as links to the financial aid website or the accessibility website for the institutions to learn more about what options may be available there. As I scroll further, we do encourage students to explore, and there's a section here where we showcase related programs. So here's a couple of business admin accounting programs at other institutions. If I click on any of these boxes, I can learn more about that specific program. Lastly, there's an element at the bottom called potential occupations. What will going to this accounting program at Dalhousie potentially lead me to when it comes to the world of work, occupations, careers down the road? So here we have a chartered accountant, for example. And what I can do is I can click on chartered accountant to now research and learn more about this specific occupation. So now we've moved from the high school planner to the post-secondary planner into the occupation planner to help students learn more about different occupations. Now, students don't necessarily need to know what they're going to be when they grow up, when they graduate high school. We know that a career is a lifelong journey, and what's really important is for students to have a sense of their goals and where they want to go next, what the next step is, and of course they'll learn and develop and find the right fit for them as they go through. So in the occupation planner, I can see here an overview of the occupation, or the average wage rates or employment growth, Canadian national averages, the main duties or the work environments, or even things such as videos of interest, a day in the life of, or an interview with someone in that role. You'll find employment requirements or labor market information. How does the market look for this specific occupation over the next few years? Is it growing, or is it an occupation in decline? There's also a section called jobs where students can find real-world opportunities that relate to their occupations of interest. So not just reading about general information, but what do real-world employers look for, and how much are they offering in compensation, and what kind of work environments are there, and how many jobs are available in that field. So here you'll see things such as a senior auditor, finance and government audit job, and it was posted about 5 days ago or so, and students can click on that link to learn more about that specific job. You'll also find things such as links to the Ontario Skills Passport, or depending on your location, other links that are relevant that talk about the skills or helpful other resources to continue the search and make the best decision about where you may want to go. So we've covered a number of key elements here on my blueprint. Just to go back to the home screen here with the activities, I'll touch on a couple of other elements just to give you a little broader sense, and then I'll recap at the end just to remind you where to visit and how to get started if you want to create a parent account, or if you just want to log in and encourage your son or daughter to hop into their account and explore it together with you. There is a goal setting feature at the top right if you want to encourage your students to set some goals, some SMART goals, a great way to do that. There's a resume and cover letter builder on the left here, which students can use to record their experiences, work experiences, extracurricular activities, and so on. And what it does is when they need to build a resume or a cover letter, they can simply click on the preview resume button at the top right, and then they can export or build a resume using the experiences that they've recorded in this section here. They can export the resume to Word and work on it further, or create a PDF copy that they can use for co-op placement or work experience, or for an employer that they're looking to find a job with. Another tool here is the financial planner. Of course, financial literacy and budgeting are critical when looking at post-secondary. The cost of post-secondary continue to increase, and it's important for you as parents as well as for the student to recognize various sources of income as well as the realities of the expenses for paying for post-secondary. The financial planner is a great way to do that. You can track things such as savings or family contribution or work income, or learn more about student loans or scholarships or bursaries or grants. Of course, you can also track things such as tuition fees or living expenses such as housing or food or clothing and laundry or transportation or cost of a cell phone. All of these add up, and at the end of the day, the budget tracker or the financial planner shows students the total income, total expenses, and overall how they're doing towards balancing their post-secondary budget. Lastly, here on the home page, there are a number of assessments built into my blueprint, which is the box here at the top. There's a couple of interest assessments for students to learn more about how their interests relate to occupations or post-secondary programs or even courses at their high school, as well as a learning styles assessment that helps students discover their learning styles and how they can study better based on their learning styles to be more successful. Lastly, there is a tool called My Profile at the top right, and you could think of this as a visual portfolio. Students may use it in classwork, in their career studies course, or they may use it as a grad plan, or even as a visual resume of sorts, where it really keeps track of what they've done through high school and paints a visual picture of what they've learned and their progress and their goals and objectives. So here you'll see my high school plan results. I am on track to meet my 30 out of 30 requirements. You'll notice my goals on the left side here, or my learning styles assessment results. I'm a visual auditory learner. As I scroll down, you'll see my skills and abilities or work experiences and so on. And students can share this with you in order to paint that picture, or even with an employer, especially as things such as interactive visual items are becoming more in demand in the world of work to showcase what's unique about you and why perhaps you should be hired. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out briefly just to recap for you again as a reminder how you can start exploring my blueprint as a parent. And of course, we will have time for some questions as well so that you can ask any questions you may have about the resource. Now, just as a reminder, I'm going to type in www.myblueprint.ca/HCDSB. for Halton Catholic District School Board. If you are at a different district, you can always contact us by email and we'll help you get started. And here again, you'll see we're back on the home screen. If I have an account, which most and many of your students will have, I can log in as an existing user. Otherwise, I would go through the new user route. And there is an option in the new user route to create a parent account, which gives you access to all the student features so that you can explore them on your own. And simply explore that by selecting a high school. If you're a 7 or 8 parent, grade 7 or 8 parent, you can select the high school your student plans to or may attend in the high school, and that will allow you to get started as well. One last thing to keep in mind here is MyBlueprint is used by the board to complete online course selection. So some of you may be familiar with MyBlueprint through that process around February and March, where students were encouraged to log in and submit their courses for next year. We are constantly working on improving MyBlueprint. If any of you have any questions or feedback beyond today, feel free to email us at help@myblueprint.ca. We're doing some very exciting work to improve MyBlueprint, not only for staff or counselors and teachers, but also some really unique initiatives to engage students and ensure they're more prepared for the future and have an action plan in place to be successful. So you'll notice that coming out over the next few months, over the next year. So definitely stay tuned and check back and follow up with your students and ask them what they're using on MyBlueprint and what they think we can do better. As we continue to improve, we'd love to hear your feedback. So that's about it for myself here. Welcoming any questions, and I'll let the moderators ask the questions, and we can help tackle anything that's on your mind.
Hi, Gail. Thank you very much. Barb, one of our CPIC committee members, is going to ask you a few questions.
Great. Thank you, Gil. We do have a few questions from the line. The first one is, I'm a teacher with another board and have a teacher's account to view my students' accounts. Can I link into my son's account through the Halton Catholic District School Board, or do I need a separate account to do that?
So yeah, you most likely will need a separate account to do that, but I do encourage you, email help@myblueprint.ca, and we'll definitely be able to get it sorted out for you, and should be able to access your son's work so you can collaborate and be more informed and involved in that process.
Perfect. The next question is regarding the age for the age group for the children. Is it only for high school, or can they start using it earlier on?
So our focus is grade 7 through 12 students at this point. We are working on providing some unique opportunities for younger students to start building a portfolio and learning from their experiences. And that is something that will be rolling out next school year. So if you are a parent of someone below grade 7, definitely feel free to follow up with us or follow up with your elementary school or the board to see about accessing some of these tools and some unique tools specific for the younger years that will be available through MyBlueprint shortly.
Perfect. Thanks. There's another question about the ratings for the university. I guess the question is around how do you get these ratings, and is it offering the best program?
So one thing to keep in mind at this point with MyBlueprint, we don't rank or provide ratings for university programs or college programs. Our goal at this time isn't necessarily to tell students where the best place to go is, because that's varied factors, not only perhaps the reputation of the school, but the location and the size of the school and how they felt when they visited the campus. So we really encourage students to go much further beyond MyBlueprint. This is a great jumping pad to learn about opportunities, but of course you want to encourage a campus visit or contacting the registrar or speaking with mom and dad or counselor or friends that may have gone to that institution. So with that regard, MyBlueprint doesn't provide the rankings for that. There are other resources and magazines that you can look to. For us, it's more about demonstrating and showing some great all-in-one information about the different opportunities, and then of course you can go beyond that to start looking at rankings or so on.
Perfect. Thanks. There's another question around if there's a check mark in the box on the home screen, does this mean that it's completed? And if it has a plus sign, does it still need to be completed?
So yes, so generally on the home screen here, if you notice a box that's white and has a check mark, that does mean that it has been completed and that activity is complete for the year. The ones with the plus sign and that are still kind of visibly have, you know, one of these vibrant colors here, those are ones that are still incomplete and that students are encouraged to work towards completing.
Great. Another question here around privacy, regarding privacy. Who is allowed to access the information of that my child enters?
So generally the information is only accessible to an administrator or counselor, or perhaps a teacher who's working with the student or with that classroom to support students in a classroom activity or assignment around a unit related to research and so on. So it is something that's quite limited to the appropriate staff within the school to support the students, whether it's in their course selection or, again, a classroom activity or assignment.
Okay, thanks. One more question. As a parent, can I create an account to feel and test the system?
So yeah, so definitely. So as a parent, I do encourage you to visit the myblueprint.ca/HCDSB, or if you're from another board, definitely contact us. When you select the school from the new user box, you will be then on the next page prompted to select an option for a parent account. Instead of selecting a grade, of course, you're no longer in grade 10, for better or worse, so you can select the option at the bottom that allows you to create a parent account.
Perfect. A couple more questions here. Can MyBlueprint be used to aid in selecting specific high schools, such as those that specialize in the media and the arts?
At this time, it's something that may be possible. Generally, it is something we're exploring with the board as well to see about making it more of a seamless opportunity to research different school course offerings. So for now, I would encourage you to look at the board website for some of that because it's just not immediately laid out to allow you to kind of switch between schools and look at that information. It is something that we're looking at potentially improving and adding on, but not necessarily something that will be immediately evident from the current today version of MyBlueprint.
Okay, a couple more questions. Is the account just to view, or can we edit any information that and for my child to see what activity they've been doing?
There is an option if you create a parent account to link to your son or daughter using their email. It is permission-based, so students need to accept that link, but it is read-only, so parents and teachers even cannot modify information for a student. The student would have to modify it themselves. Many parents, instead of a parent account, they actually, start the conversation and say, hey, let's log in together to your MyBlueprint account. And it would be great to explore and see what you're up to and, learn more about the opportunities available. And in that case, of course, you would have the option to edit or work alongside the student to add information or research or compare a program and so on.
Okay. At this time, I don't see any more questions. No, at this time, I don't see any additional questions. Is there anyone on the line that would like to ask a question? Please go into the question area and type in your question at this time.
Hey, Barb, thank you very much. Gil, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just again, as a reminder, if any have follow-up questions, feel free to send them through the facilitators here. And if you have any other information, you can always contact us as well via help@myblueprint.ca.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I was actually just going to say that, so that saves me some time. And for a parent that has a child presently in grade 10 using MyBlueprint, picking courses for grade 11, instead of just history grade 11, having a little write-up about what the courses actually entail has been very helpful in that regard. So if for those parents who are having kids going into high school, it's very useful, and it's something that I wish that I had when I was in high school. As I said in the beginning, this program is being recorded. If you want to hear it again in a week or in a couple of days or so, hopefully within the week, you will get an email which will tell you where it's being stored on our YouTube channel, and you can share it with family and friends. As well, just like to remind you that tomorrow we have another webinar about programs, Parents Reaching Out grants, and that allows you to apply for a grant from the government up to $1,000 to, in your school, have an activity that invites parents to participate in their child's education. Also, next Monday is our next webinar, and that is about anxiety. A link for that will be coming forth towards the end of the week. I'd like to thank Gil for coming tonight to present this to us, and I'd like to thank all the attendees for being part of this presentation, and we hope to see you for the other 7 that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much. Thank you, Gil, for presenting, and I'd like to thank Lisa Koster, Rostag, and Bart Belanger from CPIC for helping out tonight. Thank you, everybody.